Oh yeah.
We're here in Spokane, Washington, as we get ready for day number 6 of the 13th CISM Military Women's Football Championship. Today's match features a tactical and talented France team taking on a quick newcomer in Mali, who will play in just their second match in its nation's history. As we say hi, everybody, bonjour, to those in Mali and France. I'm Alex Gould. Alongside me is U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Shelby Pruitt-Johnson. Merci. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon on day number 6. Shelby, a week from today, we will know who will not only have been in the gold medal match, but who will win the gold medal. This French team is dangerous after their 8-0 defeat of the Netherlands in their first match. They got 3 days off to scout. Mali had a good start against South Korea. They got a goal right away from Umu Kone, the first ever in its nation's military history, but they wound up letting up 4 unanswered and lost 4-1. This could play a pivotal match into who wants to win Group B.
It's been a beautiful day all morning, and it continues to be beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky, but that makes for a very hot day like we've been talking about here for the entire week. It's been less hot than it has been normally, so these teams should be ready to go. They've had a little bit of time off, ready to get going and bring their A game here for the game today, and I think France is going to bring it. And I also think Mali's going to bring it. We'll see how it turns out here today on the field.
Let's see highlights from yesterday's 2 matches. Our crew has put together a really solid highlight package. As you see, well, we're seeing Mali here today, but Cameroon, their African counterparts, Cameroon put it on Ireland. They won 12-0. It was a shutout. It was the most goals we've seen in this tournament since we saw the United States defeat Belgium 10-0 in the very first match of that tournament. Shelby, Cameroon is as impressive as anyone here in the 13th CISM Women's Football Championship.
I think they really have a chance here at the gold medal, as do a lot of teams here in the tournament. And you know what? Each one of them are fighting their hardest through here in the goal differential. You're going to see that 12-0 win was wild, and they have really done their job here today.
It was that play right there by Katie Gernsbacher. You see the kids behind the net celebrating, and it was a celebration here in Spokane. The United States were able to defeat Germany 2-1. We talk about pivotal matchups and trying to win your group and get to that gold medal match. The United States with a loss would have been mathematically eliminated from getting to that gold medal match. Katie Gernsbacher struck in the 64th minute. You saw that chip over the keeper and Michka, and she put it back into the net to win it 2-1. That was a big win for the U.S.
There was almost over 1,400 fans here in the stadiums at Union Stadium last night watching that win over the U.S., and you can tell everybody was so excited, and the Germany team and the U.S. team alike were just so respectful to each other, and it's really about that friendship between both of the teams, and I know that there was no animosity going out of that game, even with the U.S. winning 2-1.
Let's take a look at the rankings, at the standings, as we see right here on your screen. You see it there. So we talked about Group A. It's a 3-way tie right now between the United States, Germany, and Cameroon. But again, Cameroon has the goal differential of 13. That is the tiebreaker when it's all said and done if 2 or more nations are tied at the end of group stage. But again, Group B action today. South Korea will take on the Netherlands in the nightcap, so stick with us for that match at 7 p.m. local time. But France and Mali have each only played one match. And this French team, like we said, as the nations both start coming onto the pitch here, are as dangerous as anyone. They have a lot of pro players on that team, and we saw it in that 8-0 defeat of the Netherlands.
Both the teams there had a day off, we would say, yesterday to practice, to strategize, to relax their legs, and get ready for the match today. And I think a couple of them even went to the pool and kind of hang out there for a little bit and get some rest. But they're bringing their A game here at this match here at Union Stadium.
So they're getting ready to do the CISM march. You see a couple little kids in there. They don't care whether it's the United States or not here at Shelby. There's been a lot of young girls who look up to these women for the way they carry themselves, for the way they play the game out on the pitch. And this is one of the most special things you see all match. Not just the camaraderie of the teammates of each nation and the respect amongst each nation, but you see some of the Girl Scouts out there holding hands with some of the French players and some of the Mali athletes. This is one of the best pictures you see in the whole tournament. We talk a lot about friendship through sport. That is the message that CISM elects to go with, and it's the perfect saying because people resonate with that. So now the CISM march. We'll take a break here. You'll get to see it, but I'll get out of your ears. The CISM march, followed by the national anthem for Mali, as well as the national anthem for France.
Now the national anthem for Mali. And now, national anthem for France.
So we're going to show a graphic here that we have yet to show in this tournament. New graphic made by our crew. Take a look at the yellow card summary. So France has 2. That's Boudot, who has 1, as well as Pasquero. And then for Mali, you see Kunati has 1, Giara has 1, and then also Bagayoku has a yellow card. And why that's significant, Shelby? Well, if they get a yellow card here in this match, they have to sit out the next match.
Absolutely, and we still have a lot of I think 1 or 2 games to go here for a couple of these teams, so getting that yellow card could be detrimental to losing a player on the field for the next games.
So you see there, the captains will flip the coin to choose the side of the pitch they want to start on. Let's take a look at the starting 11. First for France, so you see there on your screen. We're going to talk about the keeper for France and Solène Frochi. Then left back is Fahey Salmon. The left center back is Shuli Mahreshu. Then the right center back is Shuli Pasquero. The right back is Alizi Lara. And then the left midfielder is Mahrion Branvact. Another midfielder is Tiffin Brissone. Holding midfielder is Pauline Cousin. Another midfielder is Rachel Corboz. Another midfielder is Christy Gavary. And to round out the lineup, the center forward is Sarah Palisen. And now the starting 11 for Mali. The keeper is Fatoumata Karanteo. Left center back is going to be Umu Tangara. The right center back is Fatoumata Dembele. The left back is Kita. The right back is Fatoumata Karambe. And then you have the left midfielder is Fatoumata Giara. Holding midfielder is Mahriam Kita. Then the right midfielder is Nana Diarra. And the 3 attackers for Mali is Umu Turu, Binta Diarra, and the goal scorer. First ever goal for Mali last match to get the scoring started against South Korea is Umu Kone. Now, if we have time, we'll try and get a tail of the tape in real quick. Take a look at the tail of the tape. You see it here. We showed the group standings, but France won convincingly over the Netherlands 8-0, and Mali lost that match. Of course, they are 0-1. They lost that match to South Korea 4-1.
We're going to see here as they get set up and Mali has the ball. They're going to start here at the center kick.
So the referees today, the head referee, Jonathan Hennessy, the AR1, and Jonathan Hennessy is from Ireland. The AR1 is Megan Mullen from the United States. The AR2 is Tobias Kusiski from Germany. And then the 4th official, also from Germany, is Jan Wild. So Mali in the yellow and blue. France is in the all-white with the pink socks and shin guards. We are underway here. Day number 6, Shelby. It's another hot one here in Spokane. It's 90 degrees, about 33.3 degrees Celsius. The battle of these two, both French-speaking nations. With our Nat mics and our crowd mics, you're going to hear a lot of French out there trying to direct traffic. That is a member of the back line there for France. That's Shuli Mahreshu. And a throw-in for Mali on the far side.
It's interesting that you bring that up about the language, because a lot of these nations, when they're playing other teams, they don't speak the same language. And so they're missing the communication between both teams, able to intercept and really read what's going on the field. But these teams both speak the same language, so they're able to kind of understand each other a little bit, understand where each player is telling the other players to go, and be able to intercept it a little bit better. So I think that's a little bit of an advantage for both these teams here on the field.
Left foot cross. Could be an opportunity. Instead, it's going to be Caranteo, who had a plethora of good saves in the match against South Korea. I know Mali wound up losing 4-1, but one was an own goal. So South Korea themselves had 3. Then an own goal for Mali, but Caranteo made 10-plus saves in that match. You can see the closeout speed there by Shuli Pasquero to not allow Umuturu to get by her.
We talked a lot about the goalies really putting in work here on the field, and I think Carantao at the game was just working her hardest, and I'm almost betting she's going to work just as hard here today.
Free kick here for France. Again, that's Jonathan Hennessy, the head referee in today's match from Ireland.
As you said earlier, we did see the Northern Idaho Girl Scouts walking out with the players on the field, along with a couple of other players from the Spokane Surf Soccer Club, the youth soccer club here in Spokane, Washington. And they're here and get to see these women play in positions of leadership, in positions of power for their nation. And really, as a Girl Scout, maybe you're not into soccer, but you are into that leadership, and you get to see just the poise that these ladies have on the field, playing with each other and getting to know each other with that friendship through sport.
So free kick here for Mali. Will be taken by a member of the back line.
Good deflection by Brissonnet.
So for France, they won their lone gold medal. It was back in 2016, so go back 6 years. You don't have to go back too far for France. They are trying to prove here in Spokane that they could be the team to come out of Group B. That's cleared away. It'll be a French throw-in. Coming quickly is Alizé Lara. Lara keeps it in. Cross, right foot, into the sky. Could be a chance, just inside the 18, now cleared away. So the way that Mali scored their first goal, it was right around this time. It was in the 5th minute by Umu Koni. They played the night game. And so it was at 7 p.m. local time. Koni was able to put one in the back of the net because the keeper lost it in the sun. We've seen that a lot. I don't think you're going to see it as much here in the day. And a lot of people are thinking, well, why would you not see it in the day, but you would see it in the night game? So that's because of the way the sun sets. The sun starts to come down at the perfect position, at the perfect angle, to where it's right in the keeper's face, and it would be on Caranteo's side of the pitch.
Even yesterday, the sun was brutal. Every day we've seen it affect the goalies on this side.
Good ball here. Paulison inside the 18, works right to left, takes a left-footed try, and the first save of the match by Caranteo.
A lot of the players on the Mali team are also players of the Mali women's national team. So we talk about the advantages and disadvantages of each team, and I think that's a little bit of an advantage there for the Mali team, getting the chance to play together, and a lot of them have had that time to build that charisma and build the confidence of knowing where each other's going to go and where to pass it to as they played on team together there for a little bit.
And then on the flip side of that, too, you're talking about Mali. France has a lot of professionals on their team and a lot of people that play professionally in France. But what we were told before the match was that it's not necessarily that a lot of these women on the French team play together in the same leagues. And so they're talking about playing in a bunch of different leagues in France, come together to learn each other's styles, play together. But I know Marc Moufra, the head coach for France, really thinks that this could be the year that the French get another gold medal. Boy, I know they've only played one match, but it was almost as perfect as you can get. And this is good ball. Could be dangerous here. This is Christy Gavary. Good dispossession by the left back for Mali. And then a foul called on Gavary. So Umu Tangara, as well as Aisada Kita, they're going to be charged on that left side of the pitch, making sure that Gavary and Corbose, as well as Paulison, don't get behind the back line. Speaking of Paulison, good quick move. France looking for their first. Paulison finish with the left in the 9th minute. And just like that, I was just talking about it, the left back and left center back for Mali allow Paulison and her quick speed to get behind the defense. France leads 1-0.
And we've seen it this entire tournament. It's those very small push passes into the side net there that's not getting too excited that you're in front of the goal and you're 1v1. But check out the replay and how calm she was, just passing it right there, past the goalie and into the back of the net. Very simple and very well done.
Paulison, so skilled. That is her second goal of the tournament. She had a goal last match against the Netherlands, one of the 8, and gets the scoring started here for this French unit. Paulison is an OR1 in the French military, showcasing her discipline, her ability, her speed to get behind the Mali defense.
You know, what's interesting about Paulson, she is the top scorer in her D2 championship last season, and you can tell why she is that top scorer, and she might be the top scorer here in this game for the French team.
Corbose, excuse me, that wasn't Corbose. That was Brissonnet. But Caranteo puts it away there. She was tested a whole lot. Was the keeper for Mali against South Korea. If it wasn't for Caranteo, it might have been about 8-1 or 9-1. Again, Mali has that speed, but that could be part of the issue for them, Shelby. They have to be wary of a lot of counter chances for France. Because guess what? The French have a lot of speed too. You saw Paulison there with her wheels, with her legs, able to get behind the back line. So Mali has to be careful of that. We saw it already in the 9th minute.
And you can talk about speed, right? But we got to talk about stamina. If you have the speed to get it up the field and then don't have the stamina and the skill to come back on that defense for that counterattack, that's really one of the most important things to learn here on the soccer field. Some great passing sequences there for the French team.
Speaking of great passes, could be another chance. Paulison knew that she was off. Didn't control the ball anyway, but knew that she was off. We've talked a lot about time differences as we are in the 12th minute of this match. So 3:30 local time, start time now it's 3:42, which means it's 10:42 at night in Mali. So maybe staying up a little bit later. As you can see, that was the offside call there. You see the flag up in the corner of your screen. But 7-hour time difference between Mali and Spokane, and then a 9-hour time difference between France and Spokane. So it's 12:42 a.m. So if you've stayed up late, again, merci, thank you. We hear you, we see you. Good start for the French. It's going to be even later in South Korea. 16-hour time difference, and then the Netherlands 9-hour time difference. But it actually works out better for South Korea with that 16-hour time difference than it does the Netherlands, because that's a 4 a.m. start. Right foot cross. Paulison tried to leave it. Thought maybe she had a teammate behind her, but she did not. France looking for their second. Crossed in, nobody there. That was off the left foot of Vehe Samin, and a goal kick.
So we were talking about the sun being in the eyes of the goalkeepers over here on the right side, but one of those balls like that, up when it's high up in the air, is really the exact ball that the goalkeeper can lose in the sun in the games later today. Or at least have the chance to lose the ball in the sun.
Brissonet out wide. Little touch pass. Paulison controlling it. Still inside the 18, now just out. Good dispossession there for Mali. Back to the middle of the pitch. Could be a try here. It's deflected. Flag stays down. Could be the second for France, and it is. A blistering ball off the right foot of Christy Gavary. And Gavary scores to give France a 2-0 advantage. That is her first goal of the tournament. The second for France here in the 14th minute as a player is down for Mali.
Let's check it out right here, and it is a nice dive and a try, and you can see Karen Ta'o is not happy about that one.
Off the deflection, and that's why we were kind of looking up and wondering why Gavary was wide open by herself on the edge of the 18-yard box. That's because a player was down for Mali who was supposed to be marking Gavary. So that's why France was able to get that second goal. But this French team, I've said it time and time again, as the player for Mali that was down who gets up is Mariam Keita. So Keita up, but there's now another player that's down for Mali. Again, it's very hot out here, and seen a lot of women go down. You can see the hydration already, just 15 minutes into the match. But we've talked time and time again. I know France coming into this match, Shelby, had only played one match in this tournament, but it looked like maybe the most dominant match put together. I know it wasn't the most goals. The United States scored 10 against Belgium. Cameroon yesterday scored 12 against Ireland. But to me, if you want to kind of predict and look at who could come out of Group B and win the tournament, I think right now the French team is playing the best football out of anyone.
I agree. I think the French team is so tactical with how they pass and where they pass and when they pass, and it really just adds up and makes the chances for these goals a lot easier through the long passes, through the short passes, give and goes, and they're just stringing it together perfectly to get it in the back of the net.
So all the players back up for Mali. So they're trying to climb their way back up from this 2-0 advantage for France. There's a turnover. Could be an opportunity here for Mali. Ball towards the outer part of the pitch, but no one was there.
So another technique we've kind of talked about, right, is crashing the goal. And we've seen it in almost every single game so far, is when those center players are there and they may not even be in the right place at the right time, but they're crashing the goal no matter what to make sure that they can get a touch on the ball for a chance at a goal. And you saw there, the Mali forward line was kind of hanging back and maybe a fear of being offsides, but not really crashing the goal and didn't really provide a chance there for a goal.
Played out wide, crossed in the box, France. Paulison looking for her second, tried to control it with the left foot. It was deflected by the keeper and Caranteo, so it's going to be a corner kick for France, the first corner of the match over on the far side That was a beautiful ball there by Christy Gavary, who just scored. She was trying to set up Sarah Pallison for her second goal of the match. Take a look here. Gavary to Pallison. I'm actually surprised there, Shelby, that Pallison didn't try and one-time it in. So this is crossed into the box. Can Mali get rid of it? They can for now. Good give and go. Try. France looking for their third, but a little bit too off the mark was the pass there from Brissonnet, trying to find Cousin. And Cousin also runs very well. Kind of outran that pass. Pass was a little bit behind her inside the 18.
I think you're going to see it a lot in the game. The crossing in the middle there, I think the French team really strategizes and emphasizes those middle players for a cross and just a touch in the goal.
Salmon. Right foot try, but wide of the mark. It was not deflected, so Marion Brunvacht missing wide to the left on that shot attempt.
Looking at scoreboard with 20 minutes in, and we have 5 shots on goal by the French team and 0 on the Mali team.
Possession's been about, again, a rough estimate. Not exactly tracking it, but it's been about 70-30, maybe 75-25. Such a smart pass. It's amazing how good Tiffany Brissonnet is. And now out wide, a chance here for France, but the flag goes up. So offside on the French. We're getting close to that water break, that hydration break. Again, it is very hot here. You see Paul Hennessy there on your screen. He is the head referee. I said Paul, I meant Jonathan Hennessy. He's the head referee. Now Brissonnet again. Left foot cross. Paulison scored the first, trying to score the third. And wide of the mark again.
You can see the communication there between Karen Ta'o and her defensive line. She almost, after every ball that goes towards her, towards the net, outside there for a corner, she's giving feedback and communicating to the defensive line on what they need to do to make sure that doesn't happen again.
So almost everyone on this French team is in the Army. But there's one name we were given by Ewan Mathieu, who has really helped us out, gave us a lot of information in the last match, gave us a lot of information this match. But one player, he said, damage control in the Navy. And as we look at this attempt that's stopped by Mali for now, is number 13, Colleen Guinou. So Colleen Guinou, unlike many of the players here on the France team, she's in the Navy. This could be a right foot try, right to left. Left foot attempt, and it's saved by Karen Ta'o. Did she keep it alive? She did. Jonathan Hennessy was looking over at the AR2, and Tobias Kusiski from Germany to make sure that he didn't have a better angle if the ball did go over the line. But a good save there by Caranteo. And that shot attempt by Corbose. Take a look at it again here. This is a great angle. Should be able to see it here. Nice job by Caranteo. The player that's down for France is Gavary, who scored the second goal. That's a player that France can't afford to lose. So now Jonathan Hennessy is having a chat here with one of the backs. That is Aisita Kita. Again, this is the friendship through sport. This is what a lot of referees have been told to do, and going to make sure they do, is that players on opposite ends are helping out a player that goes down. You can see not too pleased right now is Gavary. She definitely doesn't want to check out of the match, but taking a look at that right ankle.
It is interesting you said that, and we saw it a lot in the game between Germany and the U.S. last night. It is that friendship through sport. They're helping each other up. They're shaking hands, laughing, smiling, hugging. Even though the game is competitive and all the teams want to make it to that championship match, they all also want to make it back to their countries healthy, happy, and ready to go back to their jobs in the military.
Good give and go again. We saw France do this a lot against the Netherlands. It's a one touch and go style of attack. It's exactly what Marc Moufra, the head coach for this France women's military football team, wants to see.
It's definitely a lot of ball control and accuracy on the passes between the French.
Another good ball. France on the attack again. That was a pretty automatic foul, and that's going to be a yellow card there given to Aisata Kita. Taking a look, that is Kita's first of the tournament.
And like we said at the beginning of the match, one more yellow card here in the game. She's going to be sitting out the rest of the game and out for the next game too. So that can really be detrimental to the lineup for the Mali team if she has to sit out, if she gets another yellow card.
Hydration break here for both nations to try and get a breather, to try and talk over some strategy here, Shelby. But this is kind of like what we thought we were going to see. Mali is very aggressive, a very aggressive unit, but France just as aggressive. They know exactly when to attack. They know exactly what to do. And so we have seen 2 goals so far as we get ready to welcome you inside the broadcast booth here. Pleasure to be with you guys. Alex Gould. Alongside me is U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Shelby Pruitt-Johnson. Got John Anderson to our right. He's taking care of all the stats. Again, we really appreciate it. I know these women appreciate it. But Shelby, these 2 nations, French-speaking nations, you're hearing a lot of French out there. And I'll tell you what, France is doing a really nice job. They're up 2-0.
You know, we've talked a lot about France making those connecting passes and really being skilled in that technical, the accuracy of the passes and making sure it goes to the right player. But I think Mali's lacking a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that's why they can't make it up into their offensive half in this game so far.
So the hydration break about to come to an end here. But again, we thank our crew, everything they're doing. This tournament, it's been terrific. By next Saturday, this tournament will be over. So I got to tell you, I mean, it comes and it goes, and you got to appreciate every single match, every single minute of every single match. and how hard everyone here in Spokane at Union Stadium has worked, from the referee there from Ireland and Jonathan Hennessy to all of the players on the pitch and all the personnel that make this event what it is.
You know, we saw the Irish Defence Forces. They were really, really supportive of their refs. Not only their players, but their refs too. And they were making the post about Jonathan Hennessy and saying, hey, good luck. You know, this is much as your thing, your event, just as much as these teams here too. And I think that's really great. Shouting out the refs, shouting out the med team, the coaches, everybody who's here that isn't playing but is a vital part of the team and the teams here at the CISM 13th World Military Women's Football Championship.
So it looks like a sub is checking in for Mali, and I believe that's the sub who just checked in, making her presence felt almost immediately. And Utenen Bagayoko. So Bagayoko checked in and intercepted it right away. We're going to wait and see who Bagayoko is coming in for. Center forward, a guard in the Army for Mali. Just trying to wait and see who came off the pitch. Once we get that information, we will get it to you. Be a chance here for Mali, but just too much on that pass. They were looking for Diarra over there on the far side. Again, still waiting to see who came off the pitch for Mali. And it was number 9 who came off. So Umu Tururu is out for Mali. And number 8, Utenen Bagayoko, is in. Palasin, flag goes up. That's the third time she's been offside and a little bit ahead of the back line.
Just a little eager there for Paulson, trying to get that third goal. Way to leave it there.
So this France team, we talked about their lone goal being in 2016. They also won silver in 2008. You know, France also won silver in 2015, so they won the silver medal twice. And also have 2 bronze medals in 2007 and 2010. So they have medaled a lot since this tournament started in 2002. And for France, the first time they joined in women's football was in 2007. So they have competed for the last 15 years, and well, to have 5 medals in 15 years, 33% of the time, that's pretty good. France actually has the 4th most medals out of any nation, behind Brazil. Brazil has 5 gold medals, Shelby, 1 silver and 2 bronze. They were not able to make it this year. I know there was a lot of anticipation to see Brazil, who won in 2018, but they could not make it this time around. Germany has 6 medals. The Netherlands is tied with France with 5, and then South Korea has 6 medals.
You know, although we haven't seen Brazil this tournament, we have seen a tie with the last CISM tournament in 2018 for the number of nations that are here participating at the CISM tournament this year. And hopefully, and I know that the CISM program leaders hope as well, it will just continue to grow from here on out.
That's going to be a foul on France, so a free kick on the far side for Mali. But yeah, this is exactly what we've been talking about and what a lot of the CISM Council has been talking about, just continuing to grow this sport. That's why Steve Denote made the investment to have the crew come in and have 7 to 8 different camera angles and make sure that everyone could see what was going on. That could have been dangerous there. Nice diving stop by Solon Froshi. Haven't talked a lot about her yet because Mali hasn't tested her a whole lot. Ball's been on the other side of the pitch for most of the first half. Good ball into the middle here. Here's the substitute. Now it's out wide. And this is Binta Diarra. Diarra goes down inside the 18, no call, but it's going to be a corner kick here right in front of Aaron Curry. He's doing a great job over there. To see that diving stop by Froshi.
I think that's Aaron Curry's camera angle there too. Real close, getting the goalie's hands, the technique, and getting the real look at the field for all you guys watching here with us today.
That's a shot by James up top there. She's doing a great job. See this corner kick here for Binta Diarra. Mali looking for their first. Is that a handball? It was, and unfortunate there for Mali and Nana Diarra, who got called for the handball. That was the best attacking chance we've seen for Mali. They did a nice job of a couple of give and goes between Bagayoku and Binta Diarra. We saw Binta Diarra. She made a difference in that match against South Korea. A very talented player from Mali. She controls a lot of the middle of the pitch. And Mali's starting to get a couple of touches on the ball here. They're starting to anticipate some of these French passes. But they themselves have struggled with stringing together their own passes.
They're doing great on defense, not so great on offense with stringing together those passes and getting it up the field.
Right, and when you say great on defense, especially great on defense the last 10 minutes or so, I think their back line was a little bit off the mark to start this match, letting up those 2 quick goals by Palasin and Gavori. But in-match adjustments, we talk about that all the time, and that's something that both nations need to do, and Mali at least making those necessary adjustments to get the ball in their attacking third. And some of this strategy that we've talked about. When in doubt, boot it out. Get it down the pitch and make it so that maybe there's a bad bounce on this turf, on this American football field here. And there is going to be a yellow card on Umu Koni, who scored the lone goal last match and the first one ever for Mali against South Korea in the 5th minute. So Mali now as a team, this is just their 2nd match, Shelby, but they have the most yellow cards in the tournament. They have, it looks like, 6 different players that have picked up a yellow card. So here's a French corner now on the near side. It's going to be Rachel or Rachel, grew up in the United States, Corbos to take the corner kick. Moved to France after the age of 18 to join the French army. Now trying to set up a French goal. Left foot cross. Good one. Punched out by Caranteo.
Great save by her too. Not even trying to grab the ball, but just trying to get out of the goal box.
And I think Bagayoku right there got confused as to where the touchline was. And you could see she was very frustrated with herself. And we've heard a lot of talk about it from the players and coaches. It's just different. The United States, maybe parts of Canada as well, used to playing on American football fields, but not the other 8 nations. And so having to understand where the touchline is and how to stay in and control some of the possession.
Well, it is confusing, right? Look at all of these lines on the field. I remember being in high school playing on fields like this, and it was confusing for me too, so I can definitely understand the struggle there to get used to it.
Umu Koni is trying to find Fatimata Giara there, and it's booted away by Froshi. Brisone is trying to lead Paulison. Good interception there by Umu Tangara.
Looks like a little bit of crowding there. There was like just about 5 Mali players and within 10 feet of each other, and probably working and trying to defend the ball there, but maybe spreading out might help in making sure you're marking a man, might be able to help allow the other players to get wide in case there is a turnover and they can pass it out and go on the offensive.
Good ball here. Now could be a chance for Paulison. Keeper was out, but it was rocketed right to where Caranteo, when she adjusted back towards the 6, was able to make the save. Could have been dangerous, but Paulison wound up taking that shot right in the direction and the line of fire of where Caranteo, the keeper, was. So Mali fortunate there that they did not allow a third just before halftime.
And a bold move to leave Paulison open there in the back to allow that shot. Mali doing their best here to keep it in their offensive, well, in the middle third, and trying to get to their offensive third a little bit, defending it and making sure it doesn't get past that 40-yard line.
Dangerous there. Boy, Umu Koni was right there. Saw what she did last match against South Korea. Hanging tough there was Shuli Pascaro to make sure that Koni could not have a one-on-one with the keeper and Froshi. Good push here for Mali and a great ball. Bagayoko is on. Could be the first for Mali, and a save there by Froshi. The first time, the real first chance for Mali is denied by the keeper for France.
You know, I think she hesitated a little bit, you know what I mean? I think just a little bit faster of a touch, and you saw the offensive line saying, we almost had it.
We'll wait for a replay on that action, but boy, what a save there from Froshi. It's a terrific attack there for Mali. A really nice pass in to Bakayoko, And Bagayoko could not finish past the keeper, had a one-on-one situation. More often than not, you see those trickle into the back of the net. Taking a look at this again here. You can see the slide tackle attempt, the daring slide tackle attempt there. Understanding that she was beat by, was Lara. And what a stop and save by the keeper in Froshi. Yeah, we were talking about the languages a little bit. I think this is an interesting point. For example, let's say when South Korea plays France at some point. So his left foot is going to find the keeper in Caranteo. If you don't speak French or don't speak a Korean out on the pitch, on the opposite sides of things, you don't know where they're going to go. So you can call out different things and speak freely if no one speaks that language. When you have a situation like this, in a matchup like this, these two nations both speak French. They both speak the same language. So a lot of times you maybe have to use some secretive language or coded language on what you're going to do with the ball. This is Paulison. Flag stays down. Could be the third for France. It's a save by Caranteo. And now Mali kind of let it go. It'll be a goal kick for the superstar in Caranteo. That was a kick save and a beauty there, Shelby.
She has really done such a great job and got her work cut out for her. A sliding kick save, that is, right there in front of the goal box and being able to deflect it.
So 45th minute here. A half that has been dominated by France, 9 shots to 1. And then when you're looking at shots on goal, France has 5. Mali has that 1, but it was stopped by the keeper in Froshi just a few moments ago.
Alex, I like how you're bringing up about languages as well. Now, we're looking here. It's a Malaysian team, the French team, an Irish referee. So I don't know if he speaks French, but I think that would be a little bit hard.
As Paulison has Corbose, was trying to get it to her and could not, and Paulison visibly upset with herself. Corbose was wide open in the middle of the 18 to her left, and it was a great defensive stop there for Mali. Corbose trying to return the favor to Paulison and get it to her. Good deflection, still inside the 6. Finally stopped by the keeper in Caranteo. 3 additional minutes being added. So 3 minutes being added here of stoppage, of additional time, before both teams get a breather, go into the locker room and talk over the strategy heading into the second half.
So before I was absolutely interrupted by that great play there, that's what I mean. The Irish, he might not understand what's going on. The referee, the head ref, Jonathan Hennessy, he might not be able to understand, and he might not be able to communicate effectively either to these women on the field, although there are universal referee signs and things of that nature with your hands and being physical, so everyone really knows what that means. But you got to think it's a little bit difficult to talk to and kind of explain some of the calls that they make.
And I think it's a great point. And you see that a lot in FIFA matches, right? And it's very similar here. There's a lot of FIFA referees in this tournament. And so I think you do see a lot of that, where sometimes someone's trying to understand what the referee is saying, or vice versa, right? So you do have to use a lot of hand signals and pointing, and right, because those are universal in the sport of football. But yeah, when you have an English-speaking referee, and then you have French players, and some players out on the pitch do speak some English, maybe a little bit of broken down English, so can understand certain things, maybe translate a little bit as well. So you have that into the mix when you're wanting to talk to a referee. That's why this tournament is so unique. It's so special. You have 10 different nations coming together, all different languages, people trying to connect with one another. Sometimes, even off the pitch, you have to use hand signals and other things and other ways to communicate.
You know what's really great, though, that I think Fairchild Air Force Base and Lieutenant Colonel Kirschman has been doing for the tournament? they've been assigning liaisons to kind of be that bridge between the teams and the staff at Fairchild Air Force Base. But here's something else. They make sure that at least one of the liaisons speak the native language of that country, right? They have...
Left-footed try there, wide of the mark.
They have really done their work in making sure that these liaisons are the perfect match for these teams, and they give them at least 3 to work with each other and to really make sure that everything that they need is given to them to make sure they succeed here in the tournament.
That is the whistle there from Jonathan Hennessy, the head referee. And France will take a 2-0 advantage into the half. Well, Mali made some adjustments defensively, have to give them credit there, but France still dominated that first half. 10 shots to 1. France had 5 of those 10 shots on target, on frame, and on goal. Mali had that one good opportunity there late in the second half by Coney, but could not get one into the back of the net.
Karen Tahoe has been really putting in work there for her team and stopping those goals. And really, after the hydration break, I think that the defensive line has done a great job. And I think going into this locker room, I'm hoping they come out a little bit with some more strategy on how to get to the offensive and get one in the back of the net for the Malaysian team.
Well, that takes us to the half. 2-0 France over Mali. We are going to take a look at the French team. Matt Hester visited with several members of the team, including Christy Galvary as well as Rachel Corbeaux, and asked them about their motivation to play in this tournament. We will see you on the other side of this break.
Du coup, on est des footballeuses dans l'armée, dans l'équipe de France, et on est là pour jouer la Coupe du Monde militaire.
It's been great being able to come here, seeing the different countries, and playing against a bunch of girls that we normally would never be able to play against. Last night, actually, at dinner, we were next to the Korean team, and we managed to somehow get into conversation with them. We were singing happy birthday to one another in both languages with Google Translate.
C'est une très grande fierté, forcément. Et je sais que tout le monde n'a pas la chance de pouvoir représenter son pays, donc je le fais avec fierté et surtout j'espère pouvoir ramener une médaille en France. C'est important, ça donne encore plus de motivation et surtout aussi les rendre fiers de là où ils sont parce qu'ils peuvent pas être là et forcément ça nous pousse à aller plus loin. Bonjour papa et maman, je vous aime.
Hi Mom and Dad, I miss you guys and thanks for watching.
C'est une grande chance aussi puisque je pense qu'on a à apprendre de chacune et c'est une bonne chose, je pense qu'on peut que progresser.
I guess good luck to everyone out there. I hope we can put on a good show for everyone watching, and hopefully a tournament like this will help grow women's football around the world.
back here in Spokane, Washington, getting ready for the second half between France and Mali. French side with 2 goals early on in the match for Sarah Paulison, as well as an additional goal by Christy Gavory, and that is the difference. That was Paulison there on the far flank, dribbled it in, finished with the left foot, got the scoring started for France. Then Gavory added one as well. You could see just past the keeper and Caranteo. Then Mali's back line did a much better job of kind of stifling the forwards and the midfielders for France, but they find themselves down 2-0 at the half.
We talked about it. The Mali team really picked up their pace when working with the defensive line, and like you said, stifling the French from getting it to the goal at the very end of the second half, or the first half. But now we're in the second half, right? And we're hoping to see a couple of changes for both teams, but really looking for the Mali team to emphasize their offensive line and push forward to get it in the back of the net.
When talking about adjustments, I think for France, well, they don't need to talk about a whole lot. You have to think that Marc Moufra is pretty pleased with what he saw. We will get you the substitutions, of course, when they are told to us. But for Mali, what can Omar Sibi, the head coach for Mali, tell his ladies at the parade? What do you think they talked about? What do you want to see? How can they shore up that attack? What do they need to do? I think a lot of it is controlling those little passes.
And you said it right. Just control, making sure that the passes, when you do get a pass, it's controlled, and you look around for that other pass. They are doing a lot of one-touches, but they're not accurate one-touches, right? And we need to make sure that when you get the ball, you're controlling it, taking your time if you have it, and then making an accurate pass to a next player to move forward up the ball. I also think, although they are physical, maybe being a little bit more aggressive in the sense of not giving up, right? Once the pass goes bad, once the other team gets the ball, not giving up to get the ball back from the other team.
So they're announcing the subs here. Our guy, senior airman John Anderson, has the info on the substitutions. I'm going to steal his whiteboard for a second so I can take a look at these. It's an attacking chance for France. That is one of the substitutes for France, and that's who it went off of. So 20 is into the match. So that is Lena Tivion. So Tivion is in. Coming off the pitch for France is Marion Brandvacht. So Brandvacht is out. So that is 20 in for 7. We also have to mark it on our sheet here. Now, of course, Shelby, my pen doesn't want to work here. But 20 is in for 7. Thanks for the backup pen. You're always there when I need you. So 20 in for 7. And then also 12 is in for 18. So Alizi Lara is off the pitch for France. Coming into the match is Fanny Prony. So there's a try, but an easy stop there by Froshi. So Prony is into the match for Lara. And then 3 in for 6. So that is Morgan Duporche into the match for Tiffen Brissonnet. So Brissonnet is out, and Duporche is in. Should be up to date. It doesn't look like Mali subbed. So some fresh legs here for the French. Again, they're going to have to play a couple more matches in about 4 days. So not tomorrow, but the next day. Not the day after that, but the next day.
Great way to switch the field there by the French defensive line and that holding midfielder.
That was a ball right around the chin area there. Inadvertent contact. I'm actually surprised the foul was called there. It looked like the ball got the French player who is down on the far side of the pitch. And that player is Prony, who just checked into the match. But as a reminder, our next match coming up after the conclusion of this one, about 90 minutes after, at 7 p.m. local time, it will be the Netherlands versus South Korea. So South Korea trying to get to 9 points and be one match away from the gold medal match, Shelby. South Korea has never won a gold medal in the CISM World Military Women's Football Championship.
You know who we don't see today, and we won't even see tomorrow, but is here scouting the game, is the Canadian team. They are here in the stands in front of us, in the shade, watching these two teams go down. And you know what? That's the beauty of getting to be here all together. It's the scouting, the strategizing here as a team, and it looks like their entire team is here, getting to watch Cameroon and Mali and the French team play.
So while we were talking there, I believe a red card was given on a player from Mali. So it was for that last foul, we'll assume. And so it would be on number 5, Satakita. And it wouldn't be a red card. Well, it would turn into a red card. Chance here for France. It would be a double yellow. Because Kita, if you'll remember, had a yellow card in the first half. So Jonathan Hennessy gives Satakita the boot by giving her a second yellow card. And what's really tough about the rules, misses this match and misses the next match. That's really tough. And it's a rule that we've talked about needs to be changed. Should not be that way. But yeah, the red card was given because she got a yellow in the first half.
And she will be sitting out the game against the Netherlands that they'll be playing not tomorrow, but the next day. And that's what we've been talking about all day. It's dangerous there to get 2 yellows and have to sit out.
Well, France already has a big advantage with the way they play. So tactical, so smooth out on the pitch. And now they play up a woman. So Satakita. And now we'll see if the French can boost up this score because of playing up a woman. Boy, that's tough if you're Mali, and that's really tough if you're Kita. I mean, you travel a long way from Mali, take about 3 or 4 different planes to get here, compete in this tournament. Could be an opportunity for France. Cross into the box. Paulison, left foot, is deflected. And it's kept in and will be a throw-in. Well, good defense that time and a good stop there by the back and Karambe. But that's tough, and that's what we're talking about. We understand the rules are the rules, and you and I can't change them, but we can still talk about them. I'm not sure what I think about that, and I think you heard a couple of coaches who were talking about it as well, talking about the fact that if you get the double yellow, you have to miss the next match as well. That is hard. I could see maybe if you get it in the second half, Shelby, having to miss the first half of the next match, but it's tough to see here. Keeper is out. Mali down a woman. This could be an opportunity, and it's going to be a goal. Playing down a woman, maybe that's what Mali needed. As the flag stays down, it's a goal for Gayoku. And Mali is within 1 here in the 53rd minute. How about that, Shelby?
You know, we talked about the poise and the calmness that you have to have, and she had just that push passing it. She knew that there was not a lot of pressure coming to her. She knew the goalie was out of the box, and she didn't take a rush. She didn't boot it over the field. But look at that. She makes just an easy touch right there past the goalie, not giving up like we just talked about, and push passing it to the back of the net.
Boy, Froshi was well outside the 18. Tried to come get it. Maybe was a second too hesitant. So that is the second goal of the tournament for Mali. That's the first goal that France has allowed. What a change of events. Maybe Mali, after the red card, playing some inspired football here. You just don't see that every day. Down a woman. And a strike by Bayoku because the keeper was outside the 18.
And when you talk about not giving up, you saw Prony there in the back defensive line sprinting, hoping to get that ball out of the goal.
For a nation competing its first ever World Military Women's Football Tournament and Championship, Mali has not been afraid of anyone so far. They took on South Korea, one of the best teams in the tournament. Mali can't believe that that's a throw-in for France. They thought it deflected off a French player. But now here against France, we've talked about one of the most dangerous teams in this tournament, if not the most dangerous. Mali gets a goal playing with 10. Good through ball. Under the legs, a nutmeg, and a chance here for Corbeau's, an extra pass. A plethora of French players inside the 18. Paulison already has one. Corbeau's, a pretty easy stop there by Caranteo. Dove to her right and made the save.
And you can see there.
The sun.
I was just going to say that. They're guarding their eyes. Coney there was just shading herself, trying to see the ball in the air.
Coney, that is for sure a foul. That has to be a card there. Yeah, that's going to be an immediate yellow card. I'm not sure what that was there from Pasquaro. So Pasquaro picks up her first yellow of the match and of the tournament. Now she's got to be careful. The last thing you can have happen if you are France is evening up the members on the pitch. Right foot cross, testing the keeper there, and that is snagged by Froshi.
You know, we were talking a little bit about the yellow cards and the red card rules earlier, and I think one of the reasons that the CISM team and committee is so, you could say, strict, right, is because they really want to emphasize that friendship through sport. We're not here to throw people around. We're not here to push people and to be physical in that aspect. We're here to have fun playing this game and making sure that everyone comes out as healthy as possible. And so maybe that's a little reason why that they have those rules, to make sure that each player kind of has those consequences and making sure they know what not to do and when not to do it.
Yeah, and I also understand the point that you're making, and right, because it's devil's advocate. You can look at a lot of different avenues, a lot of different ways to kind of talk about why the rules are in place. But I'm telling you, I think the argument from a lot of players and coaches, a lot of people watching, would be, you are traveling from Mali. You're traveling from France. Maybe if you're traveling within the United States, or if this tournament was taking place in Europe and everyone's coming from the countries within Europe or in Africa. But it's a lot of travel time. It's a lot to get here. Time differences, right? You're trying to get the body ready to go. To then all of a sudden, the double yellow totally makes sense. That's an obvious rule in the sport of football. You got to sit out this match, but then also to get dinged and sit out the whole rest of the next match. I think that's tough. That's tough for a lot of these athletes that are here to compete. Tell you what, though, Mali hasn't seemed too worried to be playing down a woman. France has had some chances here, of course, early on in the second half, but Mali, I think, has played better down a woman here, of course, with that goal, but they've played more inspired football and better attacking opportunities, better spacing without having a player on the pitch.
I think you're right. We're seeing things just like that where it's the better passes and they're able to kind of think about what I do before I do it, because they know one little small mistake can really cause an issue for the defensive line and Karen Tao in the back.
Now France, this is about a 5-on-5 here. Sakman trying to left foot cross, and it's going to be stopped by the keeper. But yeah, that sun is starting to get Froshi. So if there's another thing that is in an advantage on the pitch here for one of the sides, it's for Mali. Just the fact that you never want to play down a woman, of course, but the fact that Froshi and the rest of the back line is looking directly into that sun. This is about the time we've seen it every single day. Gorbos. Good ball, could be an opportunity. Gorbos finds it at her feet again. It's deflected, and it will be a French throw-in.
So even if you're looking on the field here, every single Mali player is in the defensive third. So even if there was a change of pace, a transition in offensive to defensive, or defensive to offensive, we really wouldn't have a ton of help there up in the front.
Great throw in there, and player goes down for France. Jonathan Hennessy did not call a penalty, but now he's going to stop the play. That is Paulison, who scored the first for France. How often, if you went down, did the training staff come out with the spray and with the icy hot there?
Every single time, I think.
Yeah.
Really, the MVP of the game right there is that icy hot.
Yeah, exactly. The trainers, too, is, you know, we talk about so many people doing things and helping out. And how about the training staffs, team doctors? They're doing an amazing job as well to make sure that these women are taken care of and stay healthy and stay on the pitch. An interception here. Could be a chance for Mali. Looking for the equalizer. Left foot try and a save. Diving to her left was Froshi and stops that chance for Mali and Giara. Boy, that was another good look for this Malaysian team. That was all because of the interception by Giara. Talking about American football. It's exactly what it was. It's able to deflect that pass attempt. Here is the goal scorer in Bagayoko. Bagayoko trying to make a run. Blazing speed. Bagayoko taken down. Slide tackle and no whistle. They'll say it was timed perfectly by Sachman there to make the tackle, and Bagayoko is down inside the 18.
That was a rough slide tackle for both players. I'm sure it hurt Sachman too. As the Mali Med team comes out to help, absolute tough slide tackle there between Sachman and the forward there for Mali.
So training staff taking a look at Bagayoko here inside the 18, just on the outer edge, or I should say inner edge of the 18, making sure that she's okay. Cannot lose her. When she came on, I mean, she's made a major difference for Mali. She has been a match changer so far for this Mali women's military team. Let's take a look at a second angle here of that slide tackle and of that last play. Take a look here. Yeah, I think it was timed well there, Shelby. I think that's the right call to not blow the whistle.
She definitely got the ball. And now we're off here with the French moving forward.
Right foot cross, but no one was there. I think that Duporche thought that Tivion was going to make a run into the box, but wasn't quite there. Boy, this is something else, and maybe the French are on the attack. I don't want to say too much. That's not the right way to say it, but used to playing 11 on 11 football, and so now you got 11 on 10, maybe pushing a little too much up and not staying back enough. But Mali, since the player went down, I mean, we could look at John Anderson over here, but I think that they've controlled possession almost as much. It's been about 50-50.
I agree. You've seen the ball a lot more in Mali's offensive half than you have in the first half, and they're playing a player down.
And little things like that. They're just not stringing together the passes like they were in the first half and like they did in that whole match against the Netherlands. Just look like a different team right now. And believe me, they can strike at any point in time, and they can find their form at any point here in the second half. But Mali has played a lot more inspired and a lot better here in the second half than France has. Some space here in the middle for Corbos. Plays it out wide. So Prony finds a teammate. That was Gavori who scored the second for France. And that's the difference right now in this score. But this back line has made adjustments. I think you have to give a lot of credit to Omasibi, the head coach, the team manager for Mali, as well as the rest of this team, buying in and understanding the in-match adjustments, whether it was at the break, at halftime, or coming out onto the pitch and communicating a lot better, as Paulison, who had the first, looking for another, finds a teammate, and France leads 3-1. We said they could strike in a hurry. What a pass there by Paulison, who finds the substitute in Duporche, as about 4 or 5 players are down inside the 6, but France leads 3-1 here in the 67th minute.
It's almost like they could hear you, Alex. The French said, watch this, right? They heard you talking, and they made the passes right there, connecting, making sure that they didn't give up and crashing that goal, and now leading 3-1.
Beautiful ball inside the 6. Great movement. This is what France does. This is the form we were looking for. Great dribbling as well there by Duporche to get around the defender and put one into the back of the net. And took a shot at the end of that play as well. Now it looks like we're going to get a couple of subs here for France, and I believe this is it. I think they had 2 subs left, so they are subbing for the final time in this match 14 is into the match, and 14 is Melissa Goudard. So Goudard is into the match. 14 is in for 8. So 14 in for 8. And that's Sachman, who comes off. That is the left back. So the left back is out of the match. And Goudard is in. Also coming on for France is 17, so that's Viviane Boudot. So Boudot is into the match for number 10, and Rachel Corbos. So Corbos is out. So that is all the French substitutes there to try and get some fresh legs, because Mali again is playing down a woman because of the double yellow card. Aissata Kita got a yellow card in the first half, and then also got one right about the start of the second half for a double yellow, which of course results in the color that you never want to see, Shelby, in the sport of football. That red card came out of the pocket of Jonathan Hennessy, the head referee from Ireland. But Mali wound up scoring down a woman, but just allowed that goal to allow France to go back up by 2.
And you know what? The time isn't really running. They got time, and you've seen here that it doesn't take that much time here to score a goal, and I think that that's going to be an advantage there for both teams.
Could be a 4th for France. The Jets are on. Right foot rocket and a goal. So France scores another one, and that is Gavary with her 2nd goal of the match. She likes to score to try and give France an even number on the board. So Gavary connects with her 2nd in the 70th minute.
It's that not giving up, right? She touched it. She knew it was good. There was a defender there. She knew that it might have been deflected, but she kept going and got it in there in the back of the net. And you can see it here, the speed and the determination to make that touch against Karen Tao.
A reminder, as we get to the hydration break here, goal differential is the name of the game. Let's say France wins this match. Let's say France also defeats Canada. France and South Korea play on the final day at 3:30 on the 20th, Shelby, which could set up the do or die to go to the gold medal match. Let's say those two nations tie. It goes to goal differential. So France really wants to run up the score here with about 20-plus minutes remaining as they lead Mali 4-1.
That's exactly what I was going to say, right? The French is going to try to get it up. You know, some people will get on their defensive. Once they know they're up in a game like this, they'll be on their defensive and they'll try to just defend and make sure they keep that goal. But that's not the case here. The French wants to get up as many goals as they can to make sure that they're in the running for the goal differential at the championship games.
So France, who got 3 days to prepare for this match, and we welcome you inside the broadcast booth again. Alex Gould, U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Shelby Pruitt-Johnson. France got 3 days to prepare. They got the chance to see Mali take on South Korea, got to see the way they played. We saw 2 into the back of the net in the first half. We've seen 2 here. Mali trying to hang in, but playing down a woman, not easy to do.
Absolutely not. And losing a key player, too, and just... And but you said, right, they had a little bit more passion when they did lose that player. They said, okay, we need to step it up. That player isn't there anymore to help us out. And they did. They helped. They scored that goal right there within the first couple of minutes playing down. But now I think they might be getting a little tired.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's gas. It's hot out again. It's 91 degrees here in Spokane, about 33-plus degrees Celsius. So these women, of course, getting that hydration here with about 18-plus minutes left in the match. And they are back out onto the pitch here. As a reminder, that match coming up next at 7 p.m. Pacific time is the Netherlands taking on South Korea. South Korea needs to win that match. South Korea needs to run up that score.
We've talked a little bit about South Korea, too. They play all year round. They know each other's strengths, weaknesses. They share all the emotions that they have as a team, and they are well-rounded and knowledgeable of each and every player. But like we said, not every nation in this tournament has that advantage.
Player is down here for Mali. Going to get the training staff out. The trainers have had to get their sprints in today. Here, Shelby, a lot of players have hit the deck, and
looks almost like she's holding her nose.
that is Binta Diarra there, the attacking midfielder for Mali. It was being tended to by the trainer.
I'm telling you, a nose hit is the worst. It hurts so bad. And you know what, for Binta Diarra, she actually plays for the Mali national team. And you can tell the skill level out here on the field and just being able to get right back up after being down for that injury there.
Yeah, and Diarra, and we've talked about her, she has controlled the middle of the pitch so well. Hard to do a whole lot when you're playing down a woman here in the second half, but just foot skills-wise, tactics, there's a reason she is in that attacking midfield role because of what she can do both on the attack, but when she comes back and has to help out the back line and the holding midfielders, she has been really stellar. Couple of subs checking in here for Mali. Looks like 11 is coming into the match. That is Rukia Bagayoku. So Rukia Bagayoku is in. It looked like number 18 as well, I think. So Jalika Kamara into the match, and we'll have to see who comes out. Looks like John Anderson here is on top of it. Looks like 7 and 17 are checking off the pitch. So Fatimata Diarra is out, as well as number 17, Mariam Kita. So Kita and Diarra are off the pitch for Mali. And now a free kick here for France. Now 12 yards outside the box.
Looks like Rochelle Corbose is down on the ground here, getting looked at by the medical team. She is an OR1 in the Irish Defence Forces, playing here on the field today. And getting that icy hot, like we talked about a little bit earlier. And of course I say Irish here as I'm worried about her on the ground. I mean the French Defence Force team and the medical staff there for their team.
We knew what you meant. I think you were looking at Jonathan Hennessy, the head referee, who's from Ireland. But this is a free kick opportunity, about 12 yards outside the box. It's going to be put inside the 18, just outside the 6. Mali trying to clear. A couple of different French women collided. Another chance here for Gavary, who's looking for a hat trick. She got taken down about 3 yards outside the 6, but no call.
Talk a little bit too about the training and the practicing that each team goes through to get here. You know, the U.S. team had to go through some tryouts and then a camp and then came here. And looks like the French team is here. What an
And
aggressive
a penalty
defense.
going to be called there. That was just on the inner edge of the 18. I believe it was Gavary who went down. Yeah, that is Gavary over there. So this is going to be a France penalty kick coming up.
So speaking of really the skill and speaking to their playing here, the French team, they had a training camp and preparations for this tournament, and you can tell that it probably is showing out here on the field.
So we'll get to the replay after this penalty kick here. Sarah Paulison, who scored the very first goal for France back in the 9th minute. Paulison trying to add her second of the match. Working on the keeper and Caranteo. Caranteo going to have to guess here. And now Jonathan Hennessy, the referee, is going to talk to the 4th official over there, and Jan Wild from Germany. And a yellow card, I believe, is being given to one of the coaches, who can't believe it right now that that was called.
That is the first yellow card on the coach that we've seen here in the tournament.
So here's Paulison, and the keeper guessed right. Got the deflection on the left hand, but realistically it looked like Paulison kind of went middle. She connects on her second goal of the match here in the 80th minute. It is all France. They lead 5-1.
From this angle, it almost looked like she brushed Carantao, had her fingers on it, and it just kept going through. Let's check it out. Right through her arms there. What a great guess and a good kick there by Paulison.
So now we're going to take a look. We didn't get to see it earlier. Now we're going to take a look at why one of the coaches there from Mali was complaining about the penalty. So you're going to see it here on your screen. Taking a look at why that was called by Jonathan Hennessy, the head referee from Ireland. Take a look here. They're going to slow it down. Beautiful shot. And yeah, I mean, it was. I think it was the right call. Here's a cross. Another chance for France. Paulison looking for a hat trick, as well as Gavary. Those two each with 2 tallies for France, and it will be a corner kick for Gavary over there on the far side. But yeah, there was no ball in that situation. Maybe sometimes the head referee will let that go just because cleats didn't go up, I guess, in that spot, but it was close. And I think Jonathan Hennessy made the right call. So here's Gavary, low liner. That was right to a Mali defender. I'll tell you what, Caranteo, much like last match against South Korea, she has not been helped out by the back line. She's doing everything she can in between the pipes, inside the 6. But also, too, playing down a woman. That has been the story here in the second half, despite Mali, right when they got that double yellow card for Aisata Kita, scored a goal from Bagayoko. And to be precise, it was Lieutenant Bagayoko. Good through ball here. But that shot deflected. But France, we were talking about it. That's going to be a foul on France. So this will be a free kick here. About 26 or so yards out.
This could definitely be a goal-making kick here for the Mali team. They can make it, deflect it, crash the goal. I think this is a good opportunity for the Mali team to show their aggressiveness on the ball and against the goal rather than the players themselves.
A try, and that was on target that time. But the save is made by Caranteo. That was Dembele with the free kick there for Mali, trying to test the keeper and Froshi, but Froshi was able to make the save. I believe I said Caranteo, but it was Froshi, of course, who made the save there for France. Goal differential, that is the remaining story for France. They're going to win this match, no doubt about it, up 5-1. And a foul going to be called yet again. Whistle has blown a lot in this match. That is going to be a foul called against Fatoumata Karambe. And the keeper there, and Fatoumata Caranteo, couldn't believe it. So 2 subs checking into the match for Mali.
A kick here for Paulison.
Paulison plays it in. What a play there for France, but missing wide of the mark there was Boudot. Boy, that was set up wonderfully. That was Paulison who got Gavary cutting towards the 6, and Gavary set up Boudot, but Boudot just missed wide of the target. That's just impressive. That's one of the better plays that we've seen in this entire tournament. Take a look at this again. That's just a design play. That is perfect football there, even though it didn't result in a goal. Any football fan watching that has to appreciate the time and the practice and the effort that takes to do. So there's a left foot laser, deflection, and then the save for Caranteo. That was a good ball on frame there by Tivion. So Mali, we thought they were maybe not out of subs. I thought they only had 1 left, but it looks like they had 2 left. So 24 is in for 3. And I'm looking at my roster. I don't have a 24 on my roster. Do you?
I do not.
So I'm not sure who 24 is for Mali. But then 6 is in for 10. I do have a 6, so that's Farima Traore. So Traore is in to the match. Paulison gives it a look there. Corralled by the keeper and Caranteo. So 6 in for 10. So Binta Diarra is out. And 6 is in. Farima Traore.
Nice pass outside there to Dupourche.
Okay, so the player that is wearing number 24 is number 4 on our roster. So that is Vanta Kunati, who we saw start for Mali, I believe, in that first match against South Korea. She's wearing number 24 today. And so she checks in for number 3 in Umu Tangara. So 88th minute, final stages of this match. Paulison, who has 2 goals, trying to set up a 6th for the French.
Paulison's been playing since she was 9 years old, and her dad was actually a football player too.
Paulison gonna take a try and just miss. Boy, that was curving all the way, but it ran out of real estate. It'll be a goal kick. So Paulison, as you mentioned, comes from good genes. Dad played football. I know he's cheering her on from France. I know it's late at night, early in the morning, however you want to look at it.
You'd have to imagine him being so proud watching Paulison here score in the game here against Mali.
She plays for Club Niche, and she's the best goal scorer in 2022 in her division. University selection. She also played on the World Cup CISM team in El Paso in 2018. Also, Gavary, who scored 2 today, played for Le Havre, and she was a young selection in France, and now is in the Army, in the French Army. Those two have done the damage, the bulk of the damage, we should say, in this match against Mali. So we're just being told that 2 additional minutes in this match, maybe 2 additional minutes for France to try and put one into the back of the net. Here's Tivillon. Tivillon dribbling, has a teammate, and it pings off the post. Stunned are the French that didn't go into the back of the net. That is as good of a look as you're going to get.
You saw the offensive line, though. They did not give up. They saw that deflection. Although disappointed, they wanted to get it in again, and they made that touch on the ball again just there.
So Tivillon, we were just talking about Paulison. Paulison was inches away from a hat trick. It would have been the 3rd hat trick of the tournament. And Paulison couldn't get it. She stays on here, but that run a little bit too short as the keeper corrals it. Boy, Paulison is not going to get a better look than that one, and I know France is going to win this match anyway, but that would have been good bragging rights to get a hat trick.
And just one more point in the goal differential that we were talking about a little bit earlier.
So about 60 seconds left here between these two nations. France is still trying, and you can see Gavary there was shocked that Jonathan Hennessy decided to blow the whistle, instead play advantage and let Gavary make the run.
We know the French team here is going to win, and they have a few seconds left, but they want that goal differential. They want to get as many as they can in the back of the net.
Tivillon, who tried to set up Paulison, set her up perfectly last time. Good ball, right foot try, and that was not going to be on frame. But Caranteo diving to her left. That should likely do it here. We'll wait for Jonathan Hennessy, see if he wants to give the French one last attack here. Again, if this goes nowhere, he's going to blow the whistle. So maybe one last effort here from France, who's now going backwards. So we'll see if Jonathan Hennessy stops this or not. We are about 20 seconds over. Got 2 additional minutes. And now, oh no, I thought the whistle was being blown there. Still going. Paulison looking for another one. It's going to be a French corner. And now, if you're Jonathan Hennessy, the head referee, got to allow this to continue.
Now, wouldn't it be interesting for the French team to get in the back of the net here within the last very few seconds of the game?
Yeah, South Korea is really hoping that France does not connect here. So Gavary plays it slowly, and that is going to be it. Gavary yet again not happy with Jonathan Hennessy there that they couldn't get one last effort. That's because of the goal differential there, Shelby. So that is it. France beats Mali 5-1 in convincing fashion. The French have now scored 13 goals in the tournament, but they did allow a goal despite being up a woman there. Mali lost a player. That was Aissata Kita, who got a double yellow card in this match. And that was really tough for Mali to win. So their goal differential is now plus 12 for France.
You know what a great game to see between both of the teams. And you saw the technical skill that the French team had and continues to possess. And what a treat for the Canadian team to be here watching and scouting for the next couple of games that are coming up.
So the referees there talking over that match. France wins in convincing style, 5-1 over Mali. Final possession totals, looking at it was about 60-40, and could have been closer to 65-35. But 2 goals from Sarah Paulison as well as Christy Gavary. And then the other goal went to Duporche. So Duporche got the other goal for France, and that led to the 5-1 victory.
Next up, we have at 7 p.m. local time, we have the Netherlands and South Korea playing here on our field.
So you take a look, the updated group rankings and group standings. 3 more points for the French. They have 6, tied with South Korea. And you see Canada, the Netherlands, they both drew against each other. That's how they got 1 point. Mali has yet to win a match. And you were just talking about it. The match coming up next, Shelby, is going to be the Netherlands versus South Korea. It is a must-win match for South Korea.
Absolutely, and we talk about South Korea being technical, and we just saw the French out there being just as technical. So facing the Netherlands and trying to get that win to get one step closer to the championship match next Friday.
So 7 p.m. local time will be the Netherlands versus South Korea. Hope you can join us. In about 93 minutes, we are signing off here from Spokane as France beats Mali 5-1. We will see you shortly.